welcome to the first episode of Adventures with Bucky and Charlie. I hope that you enjoy our video today as we take a short drive into the mountains. It's a beautiful day with a few clouds, 14 degrees, and a lovely day for a drive. Thanks for tagging along. Today I would like to introduce you to Buckbeak. Buckbeak, otherwise known as Bucky, is my Bronco Sport. It is an Outer Banks version, which I really like because it is something that, it's got great interior. I like the wheels and hubs on it. it's just an all-around great vehicle for me. When I initially drove the Bronco Sport, it was because the family vehicle was in repair, and so we received one as a vehicle to use while the other one was under repair. I did drive it and thought, this is terrible. So base model Bronco Sport, definitely not my favorite. But when I went to go check them out one day, I wasn't really planning on buying a vehicle, even though I desperately needed one. But I decided that I was going to just go check it out, learn a little bit more about them, and see kind of what it was about. I saw this one in the parking lot, or one that was very similar, and said I'd like to take that for a test drive. The gentleman who was helping me out offered for us to go, so we took it for a great test drive. And when I got back, I said, I'm just gonna have to think about it. And his manager came over and said, well, why don't you just take it for a couple days and try it out. So that version, or that vehicle, is exactly the same as this one, except that it had some scratches and damage during transportation. So they decided to give me this one instead, as it was undamaged. I really, really enjoy this vehicle. I find it to be absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, it's been a great thing for me, and it's been really helpful. So a few things about this vehicle that I really enjoy. First of all, I love that it is an SUV, but it's not incredibly large. It is quite skinny for an SUV, and so I do appreciate that. That's a really nice feature for me, because I like to kind of drive a little bit, you know, a little bit more fun than perhaps some people would. And yeah, it's really nice to be able to zip in and out of traffic sometimes. I was debating between getting a vehicle like a Mini or something like that, where I could do a lot of city driving and, like I said, get in and out of traffic, or if I wanted to do something quite a bit bigger. And this is definitely bigger than a Mini, but not huge, so that's really nice. My previous vehicle was a Kia Soul, and yeah, may that soul rest in peace. That was not an ideal vehicle. This is so much better and much safer, and it just feels great. Now, why I came up with the name Bucky, or Buckbeak is his name, is because, well, there was a debate. Was it going to be Walker or Bucky? So a couple of the reasons that I was thinking of the name Walker is because I wanted to give it some sort of a ranch-like name, you know, because it's a Bronco, right? And so I was thinking Walker Texas Ranger. On top of that, the person who sold me the vehicle, his name was Walker, and the person who financed the vehicle, his last name was Walker. So there was a lot of Walker coincidences. However, given my tendency to talk about my vehicle by its name, I thought if I ever take it in for service and start talking about Walker, it's going to confuse a lot of people. So I decided that was not the best name for this vehicle, and tried something different. I thought about a lot of different names. I do like to name my vehicles, so I was trying to find something that would work really well. And the reason I came up with Buckbeak is because my old vehicle, the Kia Soul, was not safe. It was falling apart. It did not do well in winter. It made me afraid to drive, and I love driving. It's one of my favorite things. And so looking at this vehicle, it just felt like freedom. It felt like freedom and safety. And first of all, Bucky is, I don't know, sounds kind of like a bucking bronco, but I liked Buckbeak because I am a fan of Harry Potter, and in there they do set the griffin free, and his name was Buckbeak, and it really has that sense of freedom, and so I wanted to be able to name it after that. A few things about this vehicle that I've heard people complain about. First of all, it does have an auto off when you are driving. It will turn off to save gas, I guess, when you're parked or when you're not driving, or stopped at a light or something like that. What I've realized, first of all, there's a button, you can turn it off. You have to turn it off every single time you get in the vehicle, so that part is a little bit annoying. However, it does actually have a feature that if you put it on sport mode, there are many different modes. You can put it on eco, you can put it on sand mode, snow mode. There's a sport mode. If you put it on sport mode, it turns off and overrides that automatic shut off feature. You can't really be sporty if your vehicle turns off on you all the time. Secondly, one thing that people complain about is this glass. Hello. This becomes a bit of an issue. If you're trying to reach in, it's a little bit big and bulky, but honestly, if your biggest complaint is that there's a little bit of bulk in the window, open the hatch. It's really not that hard, so I don't really see why that would be a big deal. Another complaint that I heard people have was that it always tells you or asks you, is there anyone in the back seat? It's a child safety feature to make sure that you don't leave children in the back seat in a hot car. Several people, when I was looking at reviews, talked about this. It's an easy feature to turn off. If you just go into settings, you can turn it off. So that's really not a big deal. Another thing that they talked about was that when you grab the door handle, it unlocks, and it unlocks all of the doors. A lot of people are talking about that as a safety concern as well, because if you unlock just your driver door, someone could slip into the passenger door. If you think that there's that many scary people around, maybe don't park there. I don't know, that just seems like a really silly concern. But yes, it is something that people are concerned about. I guess the different people have different levels of safety that they're concerned about. So my vehicle is obviously in use. I've been driving it for almost a year now. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Oh, and I'm also bringing stuff home for family. So there's a drill, there's fabric, awesome. However, what I really like about it, it is big enough to put a mattress back here. When I fold the seats down, I do put down a mattress, and so I sleep in the back of the vehicle. I have a tent that actually attaches to the back of the vehicle. You'll be able to see it one day, and I'll be doing some camping this summer. So as we look in the interior, I'm hoping the interior isn't a disaster. Not too bad, there's just a jacket. So that's not a big deal, but I really like how the interior looks. There you go. Now you can see it properly. I really like how the interior looks. I like the brown and black and gray combo. I think it looks really classy. And yeah, it's really nice. I did not want a vehicle that had leather seats because I do have dogs, or a dog at the moment. There's so many good car seat covers now that I don't think it's going to be an issue. So thank you very much for tagging along with me on this tour of my vehicle. And I do have a little doggy car seat in the front right now that is full of snacks and supplies from my road trip today, and a little bit of a hike that I wanted to go on. So this is Bucky and the first part of the Bucky and Charlie show. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and join me next time on our grand adventure to meet Charlie.